Episode 275. Think twice before you mess with the Robinsons. Spencer turned around, but no one was there. Her long eyebrows knitted. She had some doubts. Am I dreaming? Or did I just think someone was following me? The rushing voice on the other side of the phone came through. What? Miss Cox, what to do now? He will go through the withdrawal symptoms very soon. What if he runs out and gets arrested? Spencer looked solemn and said, Don't worry and go to the possible places where he would be, especially the ones on the outer street. There's a bar there. Since he wasn't able to escape for so many years, he shouldn't be able to get far. You have to catch him. Yes. Hanging up the phone, Spencer turned back. However, she still felt something was wrong. When she passed her room, her feeling was more obvious. She went to the door of the room, reached out, and knocked on the door. There was no response. A waiter came over with a tray of wine glasses and saw Spencer lingering at the door. He asked, Hello, can I help you? Spencer smiled slightly, shook her head, and walked away. Hearing that the voice outside was gone, Serena let out a sigh of relief, feeling her body go limp. But then she realized the current risk, reached out and hit the man who had suddenly attacked her. Before she hit him, her hand was caught by a big hand. There was no light in the room, so it was very dark. She was struggling hard, but the man did not let go. Instead, he wrapped his arm around her waist. All of a sudden, she panicked. She struggled harder, opened her mouth, and bit his hand. The man quickly let go, and she screamed out loudly, Help! Help! Ah! Before she could scream again, she was pinned against the bed. In the darkness, all that was left was her accelerated breathing and the panting of the man. Serena was shocked and cried, Help! But the person on top of her obviously did not want to give her the opportunity to ask for help again. He held her chin and blocked her lips with his hands. Serena's tears fell as she felt panicked. Was she out of the tiger's mouth but into the wolf's den? Struggling with all her strength, she bit the man's hand hard. It caused his hand to bleed. The man who was on top of Serena seemed to be chuckling. He propped her up with his knee and whispered evilly, Didn't I tell you this before, President Serena? If you wander deserted parking lots and lobbies, it will attract other men's attention. It was the rogue from that day. She panicked because she thought of the fact that this man's fighting skill was no worse than Keith's. She had been learning from him for so long, but she had never beaten him. It was the same with this man. She knew that she was definitely not a match in the parking lot on that day. Did that mean today she would? Thinking of this, she struggled and wept, crying and shouting, You can't do this to me! Don't you want money? How much do you want? Just please don't. Oh, no. I didn't dare to spend the 10 million yet, he said, completely covering up his original voice. I still have something to do today. Don't let me catch you next time. Otherwise. Hearing this, Serena was even more uncertain about what he meant. Before he said anything, she felt her neck being sucked on. He sucked very hard and she cried out in pain. No. In the past few years, she had been celibate. She could not imagine another man except for Jake touching her or coming close to her. She was waiting for him to come home so she could tell him that her heart had never changed. Although he was gone and she did not know whether he was alive, she was always here for him. She was his. Now how could she? Tears were rushing down and she struggled even harder. But then the man got up, opened the door, left, and closed the door swiftly. It was so fast that Serena had no time to react. There was no sound in the room anymore. Lying on her back, she blinked and realized what had happened after a while. Sitting up, she covered her neck with her hand. Turning on the light, she found that there was no electricity at all. What the hell? Had this guy even pulled out the cord for the electricity? Then she became nervous. Wiping away her tears, she climbed up and took her belongings, going into the bathroom to sort out her outfit. A bruise on her neck showed that she had almost been violated or gotten into a physical brawl. Angrily splashing the water, Serena was wearing an off-shoulder dress which did not cover her neck at all. The obvious mark clearly told the tale of her having an affair with someone. She was upset beyond measure and rage surged within her. She did not cry but sat on the toilet seat. She scanned her bag and took out a concealer stick to cover the bruise. After applying a generous amount, she was relieved it did not look that obvious. Her hair, which was in an updo, now looked messy. She let it down, using it as a curtain to cover her neck, and then dashed to the reception as fast as she could. When she went upstairs, she said, "Help me check the room 2818. "Miss, do you want to book this room? This is our standard room, and the price is $5,000 for a night." Serena frowned. "This room is vacant?" "Yes. Do you need me to book this room for you?" "No, thank you." Serena shook her head, went back in, and called Drake. The phone was picked up soon, and a lazy voice came through. "Hey?" "Are you free? Help me check the surveillance camera of the hotel." Reporting the location to him, the more she thought about it, the more she was sulking. If this guy was caught by her, she would make sure either Keith or Alex would deal with him well. He should know that nobody messed with the Robinson family. "What's the time window?" "From 7 to 8 in the evening." Drake hit the keyboard and asked with doubt, "I can't find it. It was hacked." Serena's heart sank. "What do you mean?" "From 6 o'clock, the surveillance has been blank. Obviously, it was hacked." Drake also felt it was unexpected. "What do you need this for?" Serena was trying to answer him, but then stopped herself and used an excuse. She couldn't really tell him that she was dragged into that room and was almost raped. If the news got out, it could have consequences. But now the surveillance camera was hacked. Was this all planned? What was happening?